Hello, everybody. Recording live from somewhere.
Peace, peace, peace and light, fam. Yeah. You know what? Let's do this. Give me some background music, because y'all know we're not gonna get started until we get our 100 people in here. With M.O.I on here, it's a Mando Hundo. A Mando Hundo. That's what we call it. A mandatory 100. Mando Hundo. And let me tell y'all something. Boy, we got something. If you guys have never heard this book, I'm getting right into it. Ain't wasting no time. And we're gonna do some house cleaning and protocol as well. Don't worry about it. We got y'all. So the first responders, y'all I already know. I know protocol. It's coming. We ain't forget about you. But this book right here, Kicked Out of Heaven. This is volume 3. This brother we got today with us, man. Let me tell y'all something. The last time I got excited, bro, is when I was in my kitchen and I was doing something in the kitchen and I had my YouTube on and I heard the Grand Master speaking, Dr. Malachi York. It was the only other time I got excited besides reading this book right here. Kicked Out of Heaven, Volume 3. Everything that I've been talking about on Crumb TV since the beginning. All the religious jargon you heard me talking about, as far as the Amatical Council meetings and words like monophysite and diaphysitic. You know, a lot of y'all older students know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah. The master students and the disciples know what I'm talking about. Right. And this brother book, man, has everything in it. Everything. And I thought it was so profound and the universe lined up, because y'all know in about 48 hours we're celebrating Christ Mass.
Ooh, Christ Mass. Okay.
Christ Mass. And when I say Christ Mass, I'm not talking about Jesus or Christ, because we know that in the Bible, Jesus said he's not the Christ. In the Bible, Jesus said he's not the Christ. So the fact that we're celebrating this Christ Mass, it's a ritual celebrating. Everybody know the winter solstice, and then we're going to the spring equinox is coming in about 4 or 5 months. That's the spring equinox. I'm sorry. That's Easter. Which we got something for that too.
Correct.
But it's really time to get into these Eurocentric traditions and sacrifices, and this brother did such a great job. And just that illustration, because you know some of my people don't read. We like everything in what they call pictorial form. This brother book does such an amazing job on illustrating Christendom. There's a difference between Christianity and Christendom.
Really?
Christendom was the conquest. That was the conquest of which Europeans conquered different landmass. And this conquest goes up into what we call the Punic Wars, the
Mm.
Crusades. These are the ones who were dispatched on what was called the Army of God.
Got
You know, Knights of Malta, Knights Templars, so on and so forth. These little crusades they were having to spread Christendom. The brother did a great job on illustrating medieval Europe, and that's the part of history we should study. Dr. John Henry Clark, rest in power, he said, if you just study European history, you'll find our history. And God rest his soul, when I first started studying about 18 years ago, the first thing I studied was European history. That's why when I get on the channel, I'm so profound in dealing with the Ecumenical Council meetings, talking about the Council of Constantinople, Nicaea, Ephesus, Chalcedon, Ferrara. The Council of Ferrara is when Constantine became a Christian, by the way. The Council of Trent, the construct of building Christianity, and shouts out to Professor Walter Williams, Historical Origin of Christianity and Historical Origin of Islam. Great body of work. But without further ado, man, I'm gonna turn it over to you, Crom, so you can do some house cleaning real quick. And we're gonna bring the good brother on stage. We're gonna get right into it, bro.
Okay. What I'll do is just for the family acknowledge the first responders. Within like the first 10 minutes, we're at like 80 people deep in the room already.
I already know. I'm done.
But the first 3 people, or however many the minister wants to do, is really up to you. I'll put some respect on the family name. Cosmic Cutie, you already know what it is. She says, "Yay, Crumb TV." Always. Yeah. Today is my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Ma. Happy solo return. Happy solo return. We see you, love you, appreciate you. Egyptian deity, as always. She hit the @ button. Maybe that was a typo, but let's just try it again. She says, love, love, love. For sure, absolutely. We see you, we love you, appreciate you. Number 3 in the building of this perfect trifecta. Let me emphasize perfect. 757 RBG. He says tapped all the way in. That's right, family. Tap all the way in. That's how we do it. So I see you.
757.
757.
House
House of Consciousness. Right.
633 West 35th Street.
633 West 35th Street, Norfolk, Virginia. That's right. 757. Stand up. We also got S Pond Chess. He's over there across the pond in the UK. He says hi. We saying hi back. Absolutely, good brother. England, put some respect on his name. Absolutely, family. We see you. Michael Pasio. He came to the New Jersey event.
Okay.
Yeah. Good brother.
Hey, S Pond Chess, right?
Yeah.
This is especially important. This conversation is especially for you, because you're over in Europe, and we're gonna be talking about a lot of European stuff. So this is for you. Pay attention.
Okay, so Conscious Connect. Yay! I'm on time. That's right. Always on. Yeah. Ooh, in time. Teach. Okay, that's powerful. LaQueen Vaughn. She says greetings. We saying greetings back. Peace and light. Rainbow Light Warrior. What a powerful name. Rainbow Light Warrior. Yeah. 3 green hearts. Now that green heart, I think that's chakra energy. I don't know. I think so. Yeah, I believe so. So yeah, super powerful. So yeah, with that said, family, let's introduce the brother, because we're getting ready to hit that hundo. What is it? What you call it? Mando hundo. Mandatory 100. We about to hit that real quick. So let's just put some respect on a good brother's name and acknowledge him. It is the God 720. Peace and love, good brother. How are you?
What's going on? What's happening with everybody in the conscious community? What's happening with Crumb? I just met the Minister of Information, so we're going to be dialoguing today. It's kind of interesting because this could be considered the first day of Capricorn, and look behind you. We got the goat. So yeah, the Krampus wears the ibex horns. We'll get into that a little bit. I mean, the ibex antlers. There is a difference in between horns and antlers. We gotta pay respect to that. But yeah, let's go in on this whole Krampus situation. It's kind of crazy. It's inside the literature, so everything that you'll be getting today is directly out of the 3rd volume right now. It's on sale at kickedoutofheaven.com, and it's in color when you purchase it from me. He was showing you the pictures from the black and white version, but I do have all the colors in all the pictures in color, so it will be alive. You understand? That's how you keep it alive. And right now it's going for $50. So if you want to go ahead and purchase, go ahead, go to kickedoutofheaven.com, and it will be on the way to your door. Okay, especially for Christmas, for family members. It's the perfect gift, So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Just shave my head here. Got shave a cream. Okay. But yeah,
listen,
go ahead.
I'm super excited to have you on here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, when I opened the book, I said, wow.
Yeah,
bro. So, like I said, we're not gonna go into anything until we get 100 people. We're at 94. Y'all better share with 6 more people. Y'all understand the great body of work we about to get into, family? I need y'all to share with 6 more people.
Yeah, what you're looking at is with the whole 3-volume set, I was tired, I was tired of not knowing what we're really living in when it comes to cultural significance. My name is Keenan Booker, as it says on the book. Keenan is Irish for ancient. Booker is Anglo-Saxon for bookmaker. So by birthright,
wow,
I'm an ancient bookmaker, and in the ancient times, there was no Dr. Seuss. You understand? So I fell into the literature. At first, it was only supposed to be a little 75-page book, 50 to 75 pages about torture, because I don't like horror movies. So I think horror movies are very disrespectful. So I wanted to find out where the mind frame came from for the premeditation of a lot of these horror movies that we've all watched, so it was only supposed to be a small little book. But when I studied torture and I studied, I read a couple of books on it, I felt empty. There was already literature on the subject. It didn't have that spark, that punch that I really wanted for something to be sold, and as a product, it was only supposed to be a book and a little DVD to come with it. It was like a slideshow. And I asked the stars, I asked what we're going to go over today a little bit, the Black Madonna. She said, we want it all. We want everything. I said, what is everything? How they ate, how their homes were structured, what foods they consumed, what was their marriage customs, what was, their law system, how did they go about with criminals, how was the church structured, all of those things I had to go over. What was witchcraft? Why did women get burned up for 500 years? What are these things, which are brought to us in a multitude of different formats, especially when it comes to Disney cartoons. You see a lot of this, as they just had a movie a couple of years ago called Maleficia. If we pay attention, Mario Brothers, the video game, is medieval themed. A plumber that has to fight a lizard to get his woman back. There's Three Little Piggies is medieval themed. Cinderella, Snow White, all the cartoons that we watched growing up. Bugs Bunny and all of that has a lot of medieval themes and activities, shall I say, inside of it, such as like slamming the mallet on the hand, or an anvil falling out of the sky, or Bugs Bunny dancing in one location until he drills himself into the ground. That actually comes directly out of his historical documents of relative to the dancing plague, which is inside volume 2. And what are these things? What is a witch? What is a werewolf? What is a vampire? All of these things that we've been raised to view, but we don't truly comprehend because we don't understand European culture. So once you study European culture and you go back and review these movies and television shows such as True Blood, American History, the occult show that's going on right now, there's tons of them. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it's tons of this stuff. Now you can really see what they're talking about. Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, it's all there once you understand what was going on in European history. Then you can comprehend these films. So as of right now, us being natives, when we watch these films, all we're doing is really watching the shootouts and the gun and the cars blowing up. We don't comprehend what's really going on.
Right. No. And what I want to do is also add value to what you're saying. When I talked about the in Europe, when they had the stories of the vampires, and nobody took time to really go back and research and find out that this is actually Vlad the Impaler, or better yet, his father, Count Dracula. And they're in a part of the world, lower Russia, if you will. Me personally, I was in the Navy, so I went to a place called Koper, Slovenia. Yeah, Koper, look it up. And this area it's always gray, real dreary. The sun is not out a lot. People in that area are hemophiliacs. Now, this is around the same region that the story of Vlad the Impaler and Count Dracula come from. If you look up Vlad the Impaler, he was an actual figure in history who was captured by Muhammad, the Ottoman emperor.
Yeah, he was raised Moorish, right?
Right. And he was let go to infiltrate, but the story goes, when he got back to his homeland, of course, he took over and ruled his land, rightfully so, but he would impale individuals on a stake. And we're going to start seeing some of the same impaling methods in your medieval torture here in a second.
Well, yeah, and that's part of the reason why the Moors didn't succeed in war with him, is because of the initial story in Transylvania. During those times, they had to march to go to war. And when they were marching to go to his castle and the battlefield location, they began to see bodies on the trees. He actually impaled over 10,000 people on trees, and these 10,000 people were his own citizens of his town. And he impaled them on trees, and as soon as the Muslims began to marching in this area, they said only the devil could do this, because each direction they looked in, they saw bodies on trees, and they couldn't stop seeing it because it was 10,000 individuals. And you have to understand that when you impale somebody, that they don't die immediately. So it takes about maybe 2 to 3 days, sometimes 4 days, depending on how they were impaled and what locations, for them to die. So there was also a lot of moaning and groaning going on at the same time. So the sounds and the scene. Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut your wisdom, but I want the listening audience to understand the time period that he's talking about now. Remember, I always tell y'all to put yourself in what's called time and space. When it happened and where it happened, this becomes critical in a debate or a conversation with anybody you talk to about. The time period we're talking about is from medieval Europe. See, Europe went through a different couple of phases. Europe went through what was called the classical era also, and they got a little more sophisticated. This is the Renaissance, they call it.
1600, 1700, right.
There you go. And anytime you hear the word 14th, 15th, 16th century, think 100 years back. For example, if I say 14th century, I'm talking about 1300s.
Yeah, 13 to 1400. Correct.
I'm talking about the 1400s. So on and so forth. When you hear those numbers, in your mind, encapsulate yourself to understand the time period we're talking about. Now, these purgatory weapons, the pits that they were putting them on, these were scare tactics. It's called fear mongering. It scared the shit out of the Ottoman Turks. They've never seen it before. They've seen warfare, they've seen brutality on the field, but they've never seen that level. This comes into play now, Christians, because remember in the beginning I told you this is all what's called a holy war. A holy war. And what makes it a holy war, you're gonna start seeing the same type of torture, treatment, lots of warfare, lots of crusading, lots of mentionings of religion of some sort, right? Jesus was hung on a cross, supposedly, according to Christianity, nails in his hand. This is purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
These are torturous techniques. The way they so-called crucified Jesus, but now we have Christianity talking about, and I said Christian, I'm sorry, Christendom. The only way Christendom was successful was through fear. If you didn't believe in it, they'll kill you. No, I mean, am I lying?
I mean, you know, Jesus is crucified, but nobody really brings up with Nero lined up at 300 miles of over 6,000 Christians impaled on sticks and rolled in wax paper in order to light the road, which may be considered the first street light. Yeah, over 6.
Go to Google, bro, and
yeah,
pull up purgatory. Go to images.
Yeah, and then
y'all gotta see this shit.
Do you know where the actual location of purgatory is at?
It's supposed to be hell.
No, there's a door for purgatory. It's a location in Ireland. Yeah, it's in Ireland. It's Lough is the island.
Wow.
Right, put in Lough. It's spelled Lough, and then Lough. You see that right there? Lough, Ireland. Wow. That is the island that is a doorway to
purgatory.
The what we call hell. Yeah, there's a couple of them on the planet. And that's one of them. Another one is called Gemon, I think it is, and that's located somewhere in the Turkish lands. Yeah. Gammon or something like that. Gammon. Let me check first before I give it to you.
Yeah, no, you good. Somebody in the comments just said strange fruit. Napa said strange fruit.
Well, do you know what? Do we know what strange fruit is?
I know what it is. I want the audience to answer us right quick. I'm gonna let you find what you're looking for, but I want the audience. Did anybody in the listening audience understand when a sister said strange fruit?
Or where that song came from?
Right. Now, I'll give him the artist. The artist of the song is the great sister, Nina Simone.
Right.
Brilliant sister. Brilliant, beautiful mind sister.
Right.
But does anybody know what strange fruit is alluding to? Because this is gonna go right hand in hand. Because
the other location is Gehenna. It's called Gehenna. Yeah, that's another location. That is another doorway to hell. That is in access on this planet.
Now, sister, this is brother. I'm sorry, brother Napa. Keep that very thing in mind about the strange fruit, because the listening audience should know what strange fruit means at this point in time. When they used to, you're right, lynching, and those black bodies hanging from the poplar tree would hang on those trees for 2 to 3 days as a fear tactic. White Southern Christians would put on these cylinder, whatever you want to call them, these fucking hats, these tall, pointy hats is what these white folks would put on, and they would burn a cross. Remember everything I'm saying. This is in America, North America, in the South. They would put on these costumes with poke holes in their eyes like ghost costumes, and they would burn a cross, and they would read from the book of Romans. Now, type in for me real quick, and I'm going to pass the mic. Spanish priest. Spanish priest clan. This is in Spain.
Mm-hmm. One of those reasons relative to the strange fruit and why bodies were kept in the air was because they looked at the birds as angels, and they'd rather have the angels pick at your flesh and consume the soul than have the worms of the dirt
Wow.
consume your soul. So if they
Wow.
buried you, and that's also part of the reason why you're put inside of a casket. And then there's also another reason why there's a law put in place on the fact that you have to wear a three-piece suit. I mean, or wear a suit when you're in your casket. There's actually a law put in place for that. So, because I don't have it off the top of the head right now. I just discovered that information recently in one of the books I was reading. And
you blowing my mind, bro.
But just know that when you're hanging on the tree, that's the friendly status. When you're buried in the ground, especially raw with no box or no casket, that is the depths of hell, basically, is how they're sending you. Because the worms are going to be consuming your eyes, and
wow.
Yeah.
In Moorish science, there's a saying. They say that the ox knows not he's being fattened for slaughter, and the lion knows not that the worm is going to eat him. When you said that, that comes to mind. But at any rate, I want you guys to remember the torturous images of the 60s and 70s in North America as we talk about the medieval period of how they put people on spits along the roads, rolled them in wax and light them on fire. And the reason I showed you the priests of Spain, because I'm attempting to play with your mind for a second. We're showing you lynchings of black folks in Mississippi and Alabama, but I'm also showing you the priestly robes of those who came before them doing the same thing in medieval Europe. So the behavior of lynching and burning and putting on spits and crosses, the behavior never changed of these Europeans. The behavior never changed.
And I want to put something out there that brutality was a normality of the old world, and the main reason why is because we all had direct contact with animals and farms, and butchering was a part of that. Butchering animals for our consumption was a common practice that every man individually was related to in some shape, size, or form.
Wow.
Not only that, but when you observe the animal kingdom, it operates off of nothing but extreme brutality. So, as a lion, you're chasing down a wildebeest, you don't know what may occur. You may break a leg, and if you break a leg, you're done because the hyenas are coming for you. Right. We have to understand that the majority of the old world's understanding of existence came from the observation of animals and how their social realm was in operation. So whenever, a snake got into it with, a monkey or something of that nature, every fight was a fight to the death. Every fight that occurred was a fight to the death. And within your own species, you're always going to fight your own species, but you're going to kill the other species. And that's how it works as well. Lions fight amongst their own, and they have to kill other species of animal in order to eat. So we have to understand that when you observe a lot of the animal activity and how they relate with each other, that you're dealing with the laws of man that are the laws of existence that can't be broken. And here's another one, pain and learning. Okay. Pain will always be a teacher, period. And you can't get around that. So for instance, the child touches the hot eye on the stove, he has received pain and he knows not to do that again, regardless if the parent is there to tell him or not. They have received the pain from, conducting the act, and now their response to it is a learning, you see? So that is a law of existence that cannot be broken. In order for you to learn effectively, you're going to receive pain.
And that's how the brain works. go to the comments for a second because a sister just said something, and y'all already know now we're master students, so we don't mind learning. She said, "Wasn't it Billie Holiday who sang "Strange Fruit"?"
Correct. She
Right.
saw three. She saw, I think it was 3 men hung on a tree.
Yeah, but I think we mentioned Nina Simone.
Yeah, I think Billie. Well, yeah, I think Billie Holiday was before Nina Simone.
Right.
Right. And she saw 3. She went to the bathroom. She had to go to the colored section to use the bathroom inside of an event that she was singing at. And when she looked out the window, there was 3 men hanging on a tree, and that's what encouraged the song. That's what inspired the song "Strange Fruit." And when we understand the concept of what fruit is, that also goes back to medieval and a form of torture called immurement. Okay. Now, immurement is something that you've witnessed on your cartoons, and that's putting somebody inside of a brick wall and designing a brick wall around them, which this doesn't directly come from medieval Europe. I can show you drawings of this being done, but with this being done by the Muslims on towards the Christians. So Muslims used to do this to Christians and put them in the wall, and that would make the building alive. Okay, and this is also goes to the science of the cornerstone of a building. Usually, when a cornerstone of a building is laid, there are bones of a human inside of it. Okay, and the reason being is because it creates a psychological reverence towards the building, and you will enter with fear, which brings down the capabilities of you to steal or to defile the environment. Okay, because there's the energy of dead bodies around you and you don't even know it. But then at the same time, due to the fact that this is the human, which is the apex predator on this planet, you are the highest rank. So due to the being of that highest rank, your life force and the speciality of and the uniqueness of who you are as a human is also encoded into the building, which makes the building alive and makes the building revered. Okay, this is what we go ahead.
What I was going to say was, no, I'm gonna let you continue. 2 things keep in mind, audience. The chief cornerstone was Jesus. He was the chief cornerstone that was rejected by the builders. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, carpenter.
Second thing, most old Southern church buildings, if you look at the right side of the cornerstone, it's a Masonic symbol on it. That was the first cornerstone that was laid. Right. Just give me some history behind when the brother say cornerstone. And going back a second to the strange fruit, the word fruit, if you look up Devil's Punch Bowl, the fruit, the peaches that grow in that area of Devil's Punch Bowl, the actual literal fruit growing that people will not eat or touch, have not touched and eaten over 20-something years because of the reverence of what happened at the Devil's Punch Bowl. And if you never heard of it, I put you onto it real quick. You heard of it? That's the same reverence, to the strange fruit, but to the cornerstone piece of putting people inside of buildings for, I don't know, spiritual veneration. That's my
first yeah, well, it was done for punishment, but yeah, at the same time, you're correct. It was spiritual veneration is what is happening. But this can also correlate to the pyramids of Egypt, because most of them were considered to be tombs. That's where we found the sarcophagus, and where we found a lot of mummies being buried and things of that nature. So that energy and that essence, and that also includes the catacombs of not only Egypt but also Europe. So we have to understand that there's even when we talk about Europe, there is a geographical copy or mimicking of what ancient Egypt was, and when it comes down to the true essences of what life is, we're talking about the human. Okay, and that's where it gets real dark for a lot of people, because they don't comprehend, the power of the human sacrifice picture. Okay, and when it comes to controlling humans, there's 3 magic systems. There's 3 top tier magic systems. The first one is human sacrifice. Okay, The second one is sex and beauty, and the third one is frequency music. Okay, you operate. Yeah,
Black people are losing at all three of those. No, I mean, I'm like, shit. We're done for.
yeah, that's what it is, you know. So
Yeah.
when you and it's a lot of fear complex we have. There's a lot of we have a lot of barriers and walls in the way instead of just dealing with what the reality is. You have to go through a lot of things in order to comprehend this stuff, so it doesn't affect you, and you can stay within the development of it for over eons, decades, you know. And that's what they've been doing, and that's why they're kicking the world's ass, you know. So you know,
Now talk for me and tell me a little bit about the connection, if you will, of saints, Catholicism, and what other evils lie in Catholicism that you're aware of, besides the purgatory.
well, it's okay. Let me put it to you like this: there is no Catholicism without witchcraft, and there is no witchcraft without Catholicism.
Oh, explain, please.
Okay, it's a yin and yang concept. So the development of Catholicism, not only being drafted out of Egypt, comes into concealing paganism and also reducing a lot of elements in paganism. As you referenced earlier, the Renaissance and the classical period was 1600 to 1700. Right. Because before 1600 to 1700, everybody was involved. And during the 1600, 1700, they had already started world, you know, domination. So with that, they have to uphold an image of perfection and cleanliness and order. And that's where the Renaissance comes in, the classical period comes in, because we need the natives to revere. And the natives are going to revere through a space of perfection, not a space of debauchery. And debauchery was the levels that was before the 1600. So kings and queens used to get involved inside of rituals and ceremonies that the local peasants were. And the reason being is because that was done for the significance of the ancient gods. That is Celtic gods, Nordic gods, you know, Ostrogoth gods, the Visigoths and the Gauls and other Germanic tribes, the Teutons and other small groups that were around Rome and in the woods of Europe, okay, that had developed their own folklore that was dark-sided. And at the end of the day, when it boils all the way down to it, the evil principles is just what excites them. That's what they like. That's what they have been involved in for eons. And when it comes to those dark principles, which are a part of existence, okay, you find a lot of stuff. You find necromancy, you find necrophilia, you find cropophilia. There's a lot of different disgusting philias that are in that department. There's a lot of that was a normality for them. And then there was a essence and a power. And what that power truly is falling in love, okay? When I fall in love with death, you can't defeat me at war.
Wow.
Right. You see that? Let's do that again. If I fall in love with death, you can't defeat me at war because you're not there. You can't sleep with carcasses. I can.
Damn.
Right. So back when it goes down to like the story of the Yahoos, which was a story that was written during the medieval times, and where we get yahoo.com from. The Yahoos is a story about horses being civilized and the humans being barbarians. And one of the things that they did as barbaric humans was to throw their feces from the trees. So if me and you are about to fight and I hurl feces at you, what are you going to do? Are you going to get the feces off you first, or are you going to attack me? Because if you reach to get that feces off, as soon as you do, plow, I hit you right upside your head with the club. You're done. You see?
that's no different than some of the was it the Irish or North British tribes used to fight butt naked.
Oh, I mean, you can find that. I mean, that's Sparta, that's Russia. You know, they used to do a lot of that. As a matter of fact, I've heard that even to this day, one of the tactics out of Russian wrestlers is that they won't bathe for weeks before they wrestle, so that you can't handle the smell of them while they're wrestling you, so that you just automatically
putrid smell. And I want to point out to the family real quick. There was a group of Germanic tribe called the Vandals,
right?
And you mentioned the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths. They were the security guard for the Roman Empire. What made the Roman Empire so powerful? Now, bringing up Rome because I'm talking about the Roman Catholic idea of what we're going to get into in a second. But they were the hitmen for Rome. Mm-hmm. So anything outside of Rome, the Vandals, Visigoths, they made deals to protect Rome until it didn't work anymore. But they would go through different villages and loot the villages, and there were thousands of them. If the village didn't have enough food, they would take babies and roast the babies on a spit over the fire. And depending on your rank amongst the troops, they give you the biggest part of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
The word vandalism.
Rome. Watch this.
The word vandalism comes from that. Yeah.
Watch this. Put in the word. Yeah, vandalism comes from the word vandals. Put in the 30 Years War, or no. Put in and this is in the third volume as well. The Waldensians. WALDEC. Yeah, there it is. Go back. Go back one letter. Waldensians. Go there. And click on images. Okay, so you see them right there. Some of them are getting there's look, go down, scroll down a little bit next to that Piedmont region. You see that picture right there? When France, on the right side of it. That's your left, your right. Over a little bit. Okay, go down. Oh, you just missed it. Go up a little bit. I mean, go down on the page. Go down on the page. Right underneath that picture you chose. You see that picture? She's impaled and being roasted over the fire right there. Yeah, and that was during the 30 Years War. That's when the French were this is during the Auto-da phase and the Inquisition right here, when they were getting rid of the heretic groups. And Waldensians, which is enunciated Waldensians, and it's one of their other nicknames is Vaudois. These group of people got sent to Haiti when Haiti was getting established, so the Vaudois, the Waldensians, actually mixed in with the Vauduns, and that's what ended up creating voodoo, and that's why you see a lot of the saints and whatnot up in there.
Wow.
So,
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. You hit a bump.
So, yeah.
What's not gonna happen is you're not gonna keep speed passing these goddamn hits. But I don't think the audience realize what you just said. Right. Some people are still catching up, like, oh, I thought they came from the Congo of Africa with slave ship.
Vaudun does. Vaudun does.
Yeah.
Vaudun does, but Vaudou doesn't. And Vaudou and Vaudun linked together in Haiti to create voodoo, because when they started establishing America and the Caribbean islands, they sent all their criminals. And we don't know what the definition of a criminal was during these times versus today. So the serial killers during these times, by minimum, have 400 to 500 bodies underneath their belt. The average criminal during these times would keep a little bag of baby left hands. That's why they call it the left hand path, is because the most potent ingredient inside witchcraft is the left hand of an embryo baby that hasn't been born. So they would do specific rituals with the prostitutes and wait for the woman to get into 8-9 months, and then they would rip open the torso and take the baby out and cut off the left hand. Then for for magical prince rights. They claimed it made him disappear. And you've seen this stuff inside your cartoons, like what's the movie with the Mickey Mouse, Fantasia? There's a ton of witchcraft up in there. So basically, whenever you've seen a cartoon of somebody holding a candle in the background and walking around and can't be seen, there's melted down baby fat inside the candle that render the criminals to be invisible. Okay, this is also the same ointment that was rubbed on broomsticks for witches to fly, including other herbs like henbane, mandrake, so on and so forth.
Hold on, bro. You said baby fat. They would rub that. I mean, they would be in the candle wax.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Bro, you have to understand and why you took it like the way you took it. Let me tell you, there are hundreds of documents supporting this. So when we say a country like Poland or we say a country like Germany, understand that they've had courts since the 700s, 800s. And guess what? All their documents are in those courts to this day. The whole thing is that a lot of that information hasn't been translated over into modern day German or even modern day English. So some of them are written in ancient vernaculars that we have yet to understand. But the information from the 1500s and the 1600s we do. And a lot of it is available. Okay. Tons of it is available, as a matter of fact.
Now, this is what happened, families. Because I see y'all in the comments over here. This is what happens when you go and study Western history. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Study Western history. And then when you're done studying Western history, continue to go through the ages. Go from the dawn of their existence, because they're not that old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they used to use baby fat and melt it down.
Wow.
The baby's left hand. This is where the word ointment comes from. The word ointment in ancient Spanish is unguent. So the unguent that they would rub on you, and also, things of that nature. Like, well, to be honest, today, like I have in this book right here that I just recently wrote, the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women, little boys' foreskin is used in ointment today. The documents that a girl signs before she has an abortion or when she's given birth takes all of those body parts and puts it into not only pharmaceuticals but in cosmetics. So a lot of the stuff that you use for mascara or lotion or lipstick, it has those baby parts in it. A lot of y'all in the comments are saying ew and nasty, but you don't know you've done it yourself.
Hold on for a second. No. Let me show receipts. 1 second. Could you pull up my minister Instagram page real quick? What he just says, all wise, right, and exact. And what we got to understand, I promise you, I'm gonna make 2 more points. We can go right into fucking Krampus. But you'll see in the end how all this is tying together, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make it make sense for you. So I have a couple of clips on my hold on, he's pulling up right now on my Instagram page. Find the one where Sandra Bullock was being interviewed, I believe by I forgot her name. Just scroll my page, but she said the exact same shit that he just said.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got pictures of you can pull up the picture of Kim Kardashian and the vampire facials is what they call them, where you use your own blood or you use your period blood for your skin and whatnot.
Change the it's a regular post. But yeah, post. Yeah. There we go. I got one with Sandra Bullock. I got another one with Steve Harvey. Remember the Asian lady had brought the shit on Steve Harvey's show?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I seen that clip. And like in the comments she said Ellen, that's it, oil of Olay, all of that. I mean, people don't even know Eau de Perfume. Eau de Perfume is smelling the toilet, is what that comes from.
Yeah.
Right. And I have all of this in the Kicked Out of Heaven series. You got to go get it, okay?
Listen,
all 3 volumes, kickedoutofheaven.com. It's $50 right now.
This is the one I got right here, family. And it's going crazy. It's going crazy.
Yeah, this is the greatest literature written in the 21st century. And
Yeah, they
please
got me excited right
understand
here.
that these are magic books. Tell them about the magic. You said Christmas, and what happened?
There it is.
You opened right up to that page, did you?
And that's why I hit you up. Me and Brother Crumb was having a conversation about Christmas as I'm thumbing through the book, literally, and it landed right on the page with Krampus on there.
Right.
Blew my freaking mind. I said, get him on the phone.
Yeah.
Did I not say that, bro? Like I said, the universe has spoken. Now,
right.
This baby foreskin, because now I'm ready to get into it. Baby foreskin, you hear talks about adrenochrome, and how they're harvesting the baby's adrenochrome and the blood out of there for energy and to stay youthful and things of that nature. How does the kidnapping or the fondling of children come into play when you're dealing with people like Krampus and Santa Claus?
Okay, that's interesting. Well, okay, it's all based in one phrase. That phrase is survival of the fittest, and that is also a system that operates in the animal kingdom. Okay, so a mother bird will push her her hatchlings out of the nest to see if you can fly, and if you can't fly, you hit the ground, and then that's what it is. Okay. There's a survival of the fittest notion. So you got to understand how my psyche works with all this. Let me be very explanatory about this, because a lot of people want to approach things biasly, and real scientists have to just wait for the result. You can't go in with a specific type of attitude. Okay. My attitude is power. I'm a power hunter. I like power. I want to know what the fuck is going on. I want to win. Winning is a concept. Power is a concept. These things are not correlated to a race. Okay. So we all agree that Europeans are kicking the world's ass. How in the fuck did you do it is where I'm at with it. So there's and I understand that there has to be some form of telepathy, some form of cultural unification that will allow you to take on the whole fucking planet and be successful with it.
Right.
So we have to go inside the culture, right? Now, of course, we're clean, when it comes to the tribal status of the majority of tribes. There are some disgusting tribes in Africa, but the majority, we cleaned every day. We were bathed. We stayed with health. We stayed with herbs. We stayed with flowers. We stayed in a condition of keeping ourselves healthy.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. Ask you a quick question.
Go ahead.
Is it your belief that we only came out of Africa? I don't ask that question because
no. I'm just doing that for short during the course of conversation. The whole planet was black at one time.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, I thoroughly understand that.
He's on it. Go ahead,
yeah,
continue.
I mean, I thoroughly understand that, but there was traveling, there was disagreements amongst tribes, there was expansion across the land. So we were everywhere. Even when you go to ancient Europe, you're going to find the Grimaldi man, which was supposedly African, So, in all things, these things are good, but thoroughly, we do not know because we weren't there. And that's the true bottom line of it. Right. So we're collecting data, and we're doing good with our collection of data and trying to put things in a chronological format. You dig what I'm saying? So I stated all that to state that when I went in to do the medieval, I ended up finding, you see that? And those are two African women in a marriage ceremony. Okay. And they're wearing bull horns. Okay. I think that's from the M.O.I tribe. Okay, it's stated underneath the picture though, and that's in the 3rd volume. So I'm looking for how you kicked ass, and there's a lot of cultural things and a lot of things that were in the areas of what we would classify today with our social understanding as backward activity. And then when we look at this backward activity, and we find the space of unification that allow them to move forward in the status of war, okay, and to defeat, Then we've opened up another door that brought us to ancient Egypt, because a lot of this stuff, you have to understand that the medieval times is where they consolidated all the gods of all the ancient worlds and locked them up. They locked them up by taking fact and publishing it as fiction through these stories, these folkloric stories and things of that nature. And that's why I had to be long-winded with your question related to Krampus and children, because it boils back down to survival of the fittest and encoding a form of fear inside the children so they won't do certain things and will aim towards health and righteousness. Okay. And that's what a Krampus is. A Krampus is to encode fear. When we look at tribal activity, we see the same type of thing. Oh, don't go over this river because there's the alligator goddess over there that's going to devour you. That's the same concept. Okay. Or telling ghost stories or a boogeyman folkloric concept is all to encode a fear into your children so the children will naturally operate in a space of righteousness and goodness, because humans will, if you don't educate humans, they will do what we classify as evil. The infant will play in its shit. The infant will piss on you while you're changing the diaper and laugh and smile when they do it. Okay, the infant will put down their toy and go take the toy of another infant. We've seen this activity. So that is your natural status as a human. You have to teach
civilized
for the human to be in the chord of righteousness and good. Okay, just like usually criminals become priests. Okay, that's the same.
They do. Pimps.
And the reason I'm laughing behind it is because I know a lot of people don't have the mentality to accept those things as a reality. And once again, if we boil back down to what I was just stating about infant activity, we all have this natural evil that we look for to point the finger and laugh at somebody else. And that's what a lot of Black people want to do when we're looking at European history, instead of attaining or studying the areas in which they were able to whoop a motherfucker's ass.
Wow. That's always right and exact.
You see what I'm saying, bro?
For damn sure.
I'm looking to twinkle my toes in some ass. Y'all fuck the bullshit. I want to win, my nigga. Y'all been kicking ass on this planet for a very long time, and I want to know how it was done. And if I have to take on those principalities in order for it to work, then yeah, that's cool. But guess what the number one rule is behind that? Manpower. We don't have enough numbers.
I'm sorry. You said it's not enough dark people on the planet to conquer the white people on the planet?
No, we don't have enough. We don't have enough synced in on cultural line. So, for instance, African Americans, we don't have a folklore that we all agree with from New York to L.A.
Yeah, we agreed folklore, but Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner and those.
We can turn those individuals into folklore, but they are real literally history.
They are literally folklore.
You see,
I can prove it. Yeah, I know. Drop me a fucking bomb. Those are literally folklore. They're not real. They're not real. They're not real.
Okay. If they're not real, they are a concept and they are in folklore, but it would have to be updated into a cartoon right now.
Facts.
You see that? You see what I'm showing you? So when we take a New York white boy and an LA white boy, they can all agree on Zeus. We don't have a mythology system. African American. You see?
What about Jesus?
That's not a multitude of gods that exemplify our psychological stereotypes that are natural to us and our habits.
Wow. Bro.
You see where I'm at now.
You
see where I'm at, because that's all mythology is. Mythology is a mirror of the culture that condenses and solidifies the different stereotypes that come through that culture. So, and that's also related to your food diet. We all don't have a similar food diet. You see? So a culture is based off of that as well. you know.
Damn.
So
Damn.
yeah.
Wow.
And
Noble Drew Ali said that we are to return Christianity and the church back to Europeans because we have strayed after the gods of Europe to whom we know nothing about. And we dishonor our ancient forefathers and foremothers. Wow, brother. That's crazy.
Let me show you something. The majority of ancient Egyptian gods, so our scholars, they talk about Egyptian gods, right? But they don't show you where they're located, right? Let me show you something. Look up Saint Amun. Put it up on the screen. Come on, Crumb. Saint Amun. Look it up.
He's getting into Egypt.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, it's all connected. It's time. You know, it's a time thing.
That's what I am.
There he is. Saint Amun. Go to all so we can look at his. Go to all. Right. Go to there. Look at that.
Saint.
There he
Amun.
is. That's where he's at. That's where he's captured at. Right there. There's a lot of them. Look at another one. Saint Millennia, who had over 26,000 slaves in Africa. No, it's M-E-L. It's M-E-L. Yeah, M-E-L-E-N-I-A.
All right, so we're gonna do Saint Millennium, but we're going back to Saint Amun.
Yeah,
we're going back. Like, wait a minute, what happened?
Oh, there's time, but bro, let me show you something. There's about 5,000 to 10,000 saints. Do you understand?
Wow.
There's 5,000 to 10,000 saints.
Jeez.
And depending on your name, you have saints living through you right now. Okay. Millennia the Younger. She was in Africa and had over about 26,000 different saints. Click on her thing. Click on her page.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Scroll down.
I told y'all. Brother be dropping some shit like, what? Wait a minute. How'd I miss that? This is what you get when you study European history.
Millennia is the representation of melanin. Okay.
This is what you get. Now go back to Saint Amun, please. This is what you get when you go into European history.
You know, but there's tons of them, bro.
Y'all have to understand this stuff. And I'm not saying like remember all this shit because y'all know I can do a good bit of European history. But this brother here is dropping some jewels. Saint Amun. I wonder if the hotel community know about this.
Oh no, bro. Do they know about Saint Benedict the Moor?
No, they don't because they don't know anything about what's the brother's name?
Saint Benedict the Moor is actually an incorruptible saint that is in a glass casket right now inside of Palermo, Italy.
That's fact. He is.
Okay.
Saint Amun.
Oh yeah, there's tons of them. There's tons of them, bro. The majority of Egyptian gods are found inside the saints. That's how they got updated through time.
Watch. I'm gonna read it real quick, bro. Amun.
No, this isn't him. You clicked on a different one.
Is that the same one?
No, that's not the same one. Go back. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. Okay, my bad. Yeah. Because what happens sometimes in the saint realm, like I said, there's 5,000 to 10,000 of them. They'll duplicate the saints by the same name. So there'll be 4 or 5 of the same dude.
Now, Amunus the Hermit was a 4th century Christian ascetic and the founder of one of the most celebrated monastic communities in Egypt. He was sequentially declared a saint. He was one of the most venerated ascetic of the Nitrian desert, and Athisius of Alexandria mentions him in the life of Anthony the Great. I'm going to take the word Alexander the Greek or the Great, and I'm going to draw a line. Hold on. I'm going to draw a line from Alexander the Greek over to Ptolemy, one Soter. Now, what I'm talking about, I'm still in Egypt. I'm still talking about Greek. This says 4th century. I'm talking about before then. I'm talking about BC. And I can bring it all the way back down to Alexander the Greek, going into Ptolemy. Ptolemy 1 made himself Soter. This is where you get the idea of the picture of Jesus from. Now, I can draw another line, Greek to Egypt, over to what's his name? What's his name? Oh God, what's his name? I call in a second, but if you pull up, well, Ptolemy became Serapis.
You're right.
He became Serapis, but put in no, already Serapis Bay. Serapis Bay. Pull up a picture of Serapis Bay. That's Serapis Bay. Yes, from Ptolemy I Soter, known as Serapis. But this is Serapis Bay in Egypt. Jesus looking ass. I'm just showing y'all how to draw wormholes in history to figure this shit out. It's all one and the same. So when the brother's telling you that these Christian ideologies is just ancient Egypt modernized, he's fucking right.
Oh yeah, and that's why there's 5,000 to 10,000 saints. If you love mathematics and if you love magic, you have to bend the knee to the saints and the way they did it. I'm telling you, the shit is phenomenal. So like, there's a shorty right here. Her name is Camille. There's a Saint Camille, okay, and the aspects of Saint Camille's story is in her life, and she don't even know it.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Right. Okay, here goes another line to it. That's just by name. So by name significance, you have saints correlated. There's a Saint Donald. Like, I know a guy named Donald, and Saint Donald loves plants. My homie Donald, he loves to grow plants and have a field. It's automatically related. And I don't know how they did this, but the mathematics is so precise that if you love the system of mathematics, it makes you bend the knee. I don't know what else to say or do about that line right there. So there's another line to it. Your birthday. Like I said, there's 5,000 to 10,000 saints, right? So every single day of the year, there is about 10 to 20 saints dedicated to that day called a feast day.
Yeah.
So the birthday that you have, you can go wiki your birthday, and then at the bottom of the page of that wiki page, it will show all the saints that have that same feast day. And you look up those saints, and guess what? You will see the aspects of your life and the life that you're living right now in those same saints that are on your birthday. And each one of these saints represent a different energy line of that one day. Okay? And there's about 10 to 20 saints for each day of the whole year.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Okay? So that's why I say, yo, medieval Catholicism, I'm there. I have to be. There's no way around it. I'm sorry. You know, like, the mathematics is just too clear. The sensitivity and the emotions that are invoked through the stories are definitely good for common courtesy, you know, and how you treat others, you know. A lot of the Virgin Martyrs, or who's that one saint? Saint Cecilia, who's over music. Saint Vitus for vitality. He's over music as well. He was boiled in Rome. Go look him up. Saint Vitus. He was a little 8-year-old boy that was boiled in Rome. The majority. What? Go ahead.
Listen, I'm gonna ask you to fast forward and talk to us about Saint Nicholas.
Saint Nicholas. Okay, Saint Nicholas. Well, the stories for that we have about giving of the gifts come from Saint Nick, and it actually comes from a poor man who had 3 daughters, and their daughters didn't have enough money to pay the dowry for marriage. In ancient times, the woman had to pay the dowry to the man because the woman is the burden. Okay? She's going to end up giving you children, which is going to make the man work more.
We got to bring that rule back.
Yeah.
Shit. I like how that sounds.
Speak it into existence, brother. You understand? So what happens is that in ancient times, they clearly understood that the woman was the burden to the man. So the woman had a dowry. that she had to give the husband or the husband's family when they were going when they were going to get married. It was part of the ceremony. And this poor man didn't have any money for his daughters. So the story goes is that during that time, if you didn't have money for your daughters to pay dowry, they were going to fall into the realms of prostitution and being sent to the brothel. So Saint Nicholas actually came by and would give them gold, give the father gold in the middle of the night, and sometimes would drop this gold through the chimney so his daughters wouldn't fall into prostitution and would have money for their dowry to get married. And that's where the whole giving of the gifts comes from. It's from Saint Nicholas.
No, hold on. Let me add to this. In the his name was Justinian I. Justinian I and his wife Theodora reconstructed the Hagia Sophia. And when they reconstructed the Hagia Sophia, the final day of reconstruction was December 27th. So every December 27th, they would come to the Hagia Sophia and give gifts as an honorarium for this knowledge. If you don't know what it is, family, look up the Hagia Sophia. They would give up gifts in veneration for celebration for the Hagia Sophia, Church of Holy Wisdom. At that time, they were under what's called the Justinian calendar. When Christianity was moved up into Europe, they lost 2 days on the Gregorian calendar. So every December 25th, they would come bringing gifts in veneration for the Church of Holy Wisdom.
Right.
So there's a couple different narratives just within Christianity.
Right.
About the story of Christmas. But
right. And the goddess Mithra during the pagan times of Rome was celebrated on December 25th. And there's a multitude of different individuals all throughout different mythology systems and cultures throughout the planet that have individuals on December 25th, because that is the shortest day that the sun is in the sky.
Right, okay. Right. It needs to be known. It's all esoteric.
Right. It all goes back to cosmology.
Tell us, how did Saint Nick became known as Santa Claus?
Well, Saint Nick became, when we say what you're referring to is Saint Nicholas. When you say
Nicholas,
Saint Nick, right.
You're right. Nicholas.
There's a difference, because Saint Nicholas is the good guy. Saint Nick is the devil.
It's the devil. Right.
Okay,
well, wait a minute. The audience, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Under the same people? No.
Saint Nick, you'll see it. You'll see Saint Nick being the devil in the phrase nickname, right? So a nickname is your devil name that your mother
gives
you.
No. You said our nickname is our.
Watch the math. Watch the math. Your nickname is your devil name that you're supposed to live out during your childhood, during your devil phases, when you don't thoroughly understand the socialism of humans yet. And it's given to you by your mother, which defies the father. And the father gives you your birth name, and then your mother defies that by giving you a nickname.
Wow.
Nickname. Right.
That's crazy.
See, look, old Nick. See, right there. You know,
it says informal, a jocular. I learned today what the word jocular means, if I'm saying it right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
A name for Satan.
Right.
Scroll down one, bro. Watch this. What does Saint Nick mean right there? Saint Nick, the third one.
The third one.
The devil, Satan.
Yeah. See?
That's who. Old serpent.
Yeah. See?
Old serpent.
Hey. Let me tell you something about this kicked out of heaven, B. Let me tell you something about this kicked out of heaven.
Hold on. Old serpent, a Nahash, a Tanin, a seraphim. That's what the devil is. This is Saint Nick. So you're right, bro. Please continue.
Yeah. Let me tell you something about this kicked out of heaven. Okay, and what you just saw right here
blew my mind.
Military research universities have used this literature. Private research universities, Jesuit schools. We're talking about universities that were built in the year 1000, 1400, 1800. As a matter of fact, recently, I've seen that the university that educated the Pope and where the Pope also educated taught at was using my literature from the Kicked Out of Heaven for some research that they were doing on some type of paper. Okay, so just to let you know, this is a no play information, and this information will expedite you past a Berkeley, a Harvard, a Yale, and give you a natural behavior conduct of royalty. This is royal understanding when you're dealing with this kicked out of heaven literature. Okay, so back to the St. Nicholas thing.
Yeah, please.
St. Nicholas, who was a bishop of myrrh. Myrrh is a herb. Myrrh is the root word to miracle, mirror. Okay, mirage. Okay, that's where the root word to it, because the herb myrrh is a hallucinogen, like sort of like, and which is on the Catholic side, which matches the henbane, which is on the witchcraft side.
Now,
Okay.
is this the same mirror that the three nobles brought to baby Jesus?
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Right. And if you look earlier inside the third volume, I have pictures of the gifts that was given to Jesus during the birth, and also the medieval information that states there was an Ethiopian, a Nubian, and a Jew. So there's two black men and one Jew, supposedly. And during these times, of course, we all know that Jews were a sect of the Ethiopian structure and the Coptic Church. And that's also where saints stem from, is from the Ethiopian Coptic Church. Okay.
And you guys should also know that those three wise men also had a band of army with them. It wasn't just them solo dolo. These are nobles traveling the desert who had a army with them. So anyway, continue. I'll wrap it up in a second on the army of God.
They were traveling by the North Star, or what was it, the Star of the East, one or the other. One of them.
Yep.
Right. And
Christmas, come on.
And Saint Nick, like I said, that's the double side. So when we talk about Saint Nicholas and the picture that's in the book, which shows him to be a black man, which I was just showing you, if you want to go into a deep realm with the black saints, you want to look at the Russian hagiography. Hagiography is the term that's used for the life of all saints. So all the saints and all their documentation is found in called the hagiography. Okay, and the Russians are one group who have no shame in showing that the saints were black, or what the Theotosic. Did I say that right? Say that right for me.
Diaphysitic.
Yeah, Theositic. Yeah, were in Russia. Okay, Russia, and then Russia also still has Tartar civilizations right now in this day.
And I want to go on record by telling y'all these black saints who about to show y'all. We're also going to talk about, what's it called? Zwarte Piet.
Oh, Zwarte Piet, that deals directly with the Moors coming out of Spain and going into all the other countries inside of Europe, searching for slaves, because that's why it's very hard to find information in between 700 and 1400. Is because writing and art didn't really start taking a hardcore place and expansion amongst the people until the 1200s. But in between the 700s and the 1400s, the Moors were putting down some very hardcore debauchery, okay, on Europeans. And we still see that mentality today in your Suge Knights and your Puff Daddies. Okay, so what the Suge Knight and the Puff Daddy was doing is the same shit that the Moors was doing to early Europe. And that's why, we don't find too much documentation about what was going on during that time.
What I want to show real quick is the connection. If you give me
the connection in between.
I'm going to show you the connection between this Zwarte Piet caricature, because this is a caricature. Yes, this is classic blackface. This still happens in Spain.
Right. This still happens in a lot of different places in Europe.
And I'm going to show you the parades they're having in Philly called the Monmouth Parade. But I'm going to show you the connection. These are the same situations.
Mm-hmm.
Go to that picture in the corner right there with that Saint Nick guy with the staff in his hand right there. Boom, right there. There you see a picture of Saint Nicholas, supposedly. Old Saint Nick right there. Old Saint Nick. Santa Claus is not called Old Saint Nicholas. He's called Old Saint Nick with the Zwarte Piet.
Right.
This
And
is-
and the word
this
Saint
is-
Ni-
This
Go
is
ahead.
dealing with Christendom, the conquest of Christianity over Islam. This is the
Mhm.
Crusades. This is dealing with the army of God. I can show my point, but he's mimicking the Pope. That's not Santa
Right.
Claus. That's the Pope, and the Pope is seen as the vicar of Christ, incarnate in person. So the Pope represents Christ. Saint Nicholas, right here, or Santa Claus, represents Christ on earth. And the star they use to find the Zwarte Piet looking black fella right there, those all, if you keep looking through those pictures, bro, it's going to show you three wise men because it's all the same people. The Zwarte Piet characters are also the two African brothers he was just talking about who came to see Christ as a child. And they found him by a star in the east, or eastern star, which is Venus, which is the bright and morning star, which is the devil, which in the book of Matthew, it tells you that Satan is the god of what world? This world.
Right.
They're
Now,
putting it in your face.
well, here's the thing about that. Let me explain something about that real quick. When you were kicked out of the garden, who taught you mathematics?
Well,
No. Watch it.
I don't understand the question, though.
Now, of course, this is a Western civilization concept, but that's
but
the
I don't
rule.
understand your question, though. When you say
Okay,
kicked out of
look,
the garden, you said
If
who-
God kicked you out of the garden for punishment, he's not going to teach you science. So science, mathematics, definitions of colors, what herbs do what, were taught to you by who?
according to the Bible, Lucifer.
Yep. But that is how we were able to survive. So
Right.
God didn't teach you any surviving mechanisms because they were all provided in the Garden of Eden. So outside of the garden, and this is also goes into love, you know, the devil taught humans how to mate and make love. That's why, you know, the angels came down from heaven with the whole situation in Genesis, and because the women here are so damn beautiful. But regardless of that, the thing here is that God left you abandoned. You were excommunicated, which when you study how animals operate in their socialism, their first choice of punishment is excommunication. And that is also our first choice of punishment. How we're surviving today is we lock somebody up in jail. Jail is a form of being excommunicated from the society. Hence the word felony meant suicide. Okay, so when you commit a felony today, you were suiciding yourself from the normality of the social operation.
Civil mortuus.
Yeah, you see how that works? So
Civilly dead. You're done.
these are the rules. So that's why they, you know, are worshiping the so-called dark one, is because the dark one is the one that taught them how to survive. God left you in excommunication outside of the garden, and that's just the way it rolls, you know. So let me read this part about Zwarte Piet and draw in the connection with the Moors, because the word Santa Claus actually comes from the word Sinterklaas. Okay, Sinterklaas is and the parts that I'm reading right now are directly out of the third volume. So Sinterklaas is assisted by many mischievous helpers with black faces and colorful Moorish dresses. These companions are called Zwarte Piet. Zwarte Piet is first appeared in print as the nameless servant of Saint Nicholas, published in 1850 by Amsterdam schoolteacher Jan Schenkman. However, the tradition appears to date back at least as far as the early 19th century. Zwarte Piet's colorful dress is based on 16th century noble attire with a rough lace collar and a feathered cap. He is typically depicted carrying a bag which contains candy for the children. The Zwarte Pieten toss their candy around, a tradition supposedly originating in the story of Saint Nicholas saving 3 young girls from prostitution by tossing gold coins through their window at night to pay their dowries, as I explained earlier. Traditionally, he would also carry a birch rod, and the birch rod is what is used to beat children so they can learn. Okay, is a birch rod, which is also the root word to book, is birch. Okay, a chimney sweeps broom made of willow branches used to spank children who had been naughty. Some of the older Sinterklaas songs make mention of naughty children being put in Zwarte Piet's bag and being taken back to Spain. This part of the legend refers to the times that the Moors raided the European coast and as far as Iceland to abduct the local people into slavery. This quality can be found in other companions of St. Nicholas, such as Krampus and Pure Futert. In modern versions of the Sinterklaas feast, however, Zwarte Piet no longer carries the role, and children are no longer told that they will be taken back to Spain in Zwarte Piet's bag if they have been naughty. Okay. Over the years, many stories have been added, and Zwarte Piet has developed from a rather unintelligent helper into a valuable assistant to the absent-minded saint. In modern adaptations for television, Sinterklaas has developed a Zwarte Piet for every function, such as a Heed Piet, a navigation Piet to navigate the steamboat from Spain to the Netherlands, a gift wrapping Piet to wrap all the gifts, and an acrobatic Piet to climb the roofs and the chimneys. Traditionally, Zwarte Piet's face is said to be black because he is a Moor from Spain. Today, some prefer to say that his face is blackened with soot because he has to climb through chimneys to deliver gifts for Sinterklaas. So we see how history just got adjusted by what? Teaching the new generation of children. We change from the old by changing it from being a Moor from Spain to having your face blackened from soot in the chimney automatically removes the Moors out of the history when it comes to the next generation that's being brought up in these ceremonies. So that's also to show you the power of how the character
Crazy.
Right. So how the character of the caricature came to change throughout time. And it has to be changed for development purposes. And I'm telling you that so, we can start our own route, because these practices or the development of folklore or the development of mythology takes hundreds and hundreds of years, bro. It's not something that can be done overnight, because it has to be done through theater.
Now, while the brother was talking and reading that, we were showing y'all the similarities, or not the similarities, the exactness of the Zwarte Piet picture. This is in Spain or in Europe. Now, there's also a picture you can pull up real quick. Pull up Zwarte Piet Krampus. Watch this shit. And then we're gonna get into Krampus.
Yeah, Krampus with an A.
Krampus,
Yeah.
See right there. Now, but the brother was just explaining. You see how they made. Go to the picture in the corner with the baby in the basket right there. The brother's just telling y'all the Zwarte Piet also was characterized as Moors who were coming to take people off the shores of Ireland. Mm-hmm. You see how they made the Black Devil depiction right here? That's the Zwarte Piet right here.
Now let me go in on animal relation with black people and animalism. The one reason why they do this, and all races on this planet do a blackface and a thing of that nature, is because we don't take on the responsibility of the development of a mass amount of mathematicians, a mass amount of doctors, lawyers, authors. We don't have any of those areas of that are required for the development of civilization in a mass. So due to that fact, we're still correlated as fun, childlike, and children, which is also correlated to
minorities.
Yeah, minorities, right? Because we don't use the majority of our brain. So we have no, but this is real shit. So we do have, and I'm not discouraging or separating from our Benjamin Bannekers or those type of individuals who have invented and who have contributed to society. The fact is that we're not doing it in mass, and we're not doing it internalized for our own. You see, right now on the planet, we're the only race that can't feed ourselves. If you go to Walmart right now, you can't pick out nothing but black products and make a whole Thanksgiving dinner. Mexicans can go to a Walmart and get their own products that are written in Spanish for their eating. Same with the Asians. They have a whole aisle and section.
And I want to tap in on something to cut your wisdom.
Go ahead.
On the fact that Mama Setmek brought up the fact of Pan. Yes.
Yeah.
Pull that picture back up of Krampus supposedly.
But yeah, Krampus goes all the way back to Pan. Yes. And the tears.
I wanted to show you guys how he just told you about how the Zwarte Piet had got the story of coming on shores and kidnapping these white Slavs, taking them into slavery. Right there. Now they're still showing you not the red lips of the red, but the red tongue and the blackness. Now Zwarte Piet has been devilized. I'm gonna show you a whole other connection. The sister said Pan. Yes, Pan. Pan was the Pied Piper. Supposedly, he would lure little children to his den, little girls.
Well, here's the thing about the Pan and the satyr thing, and the correlation with the black male is throughout history, bro. It doesn't matter what civilization I go to; it's the same thing. Black males, they drink. They're drinking the wine and the liquor. They're singing the songs and telling the stories and fucking on the women. And that's that is the main line from ancient tribes all the way up, ancient African tribes all the way up to now. You see it with the satyrs, you see it with the Pan, you see it with the Zwarte Piet, you see it with all of these different. It's the same thing, and that's what we're doing right now in America. You know, we're not developing doctors and we're not developing architects and engineers. We're developing rappers. You
know. All right, yeah. So what I was tempting to do is pull this image up right here. Talk to us, if you can, about the correlation between the images we're seeing now versus what we just saw with the Krampus.
That's
with
it.
The horns or the...
Right, we're not taking on human responsibility. And that's why we get correlated to as animals. We do not develop, and we're not figuring it out, bro. We just think everything is a game. Everything is a show. We are not taking architecture serious. We're not taking engineering serious. We're not taking, surgeon skills serious, biology. We're not taking these areas serious, bro. And we're not being internalized. So therefore, only animals don't know how to use magic. Only animals don't have architecture and engineering. So we get thrown in that category. And due to that, and due to the fact of the stresses of the social complexity that Asians and Caucasians and Arabs and Turks have developed amongst their own, and we haven't taken on that same level of complexity in order to produce for our security against the natural elements, which would be animals or the weather, then we fall into the category of animals because you're not taking on the responsibility of humans. Because at the end of the day, we all are animals. So a part of the responsibility of being a human is to maintain the division line in between an animal and the human. Okay. So for instance, when you look on TV, the white males always put a favoritism towards breasts, right? Breasts give milk. Blacks, we give a favoritism towards the ass for sexual purposes. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
What do animals do first? They go sniff on the ass. So I mean, bro.
So you're saying that black folk, period, have been lowered to the standard of subhuman.
We're not taking up our responsibilities, so automatically by default, we categorize ourselves.
I 100% agree with what you're saying. What I'm asking is, what is the correlation between the Krampus character though and this image right here? Like, is there any it's all the same.
That's the whole thing. It's all the same. It's the animal representation of freedom, okay, that has no clause towards human responsibility. And this goes in with satyr. You could throw the satyr in the same imagery. You could throw the Pan into this same imagery. It's all the same thing. The Baphomet head. It's all the same thing. Now, if you want to get into the details of the goat specifically, that goes into a little bit more the licentiousness. The goat has no sexual control, is why the goat is used. And also Capricorn, which symbolizes the goat, is the area cosmologically where our soul leaves through. All humans, when they die, their soul leaves through the sign of Capricorn, and our souls enter through the sign of Cancer. Okay, Cancer and Capricorn are on opposite scales. So when it comes to The goat has a lot of direct correlations with the human, not only with the sounds that it makes and its character style, but it does other wild things that are not explainable. Like, for instance, goats will hold their mouth over fire until it starts bleeding, and they'll just hold their mouth over the fire, and they'll just lick their mouth all day while they're holding it over fire. By the time a young goat gets 6 months old, you have to separate all the females, including its own mother, from him, because he will hop on the back of all of those goats. Cuckold activity is also witnessed amongst goats. So a goat will allow another goat to hop on the back of one of his sheep, and then will also do a cleanup afterwards. That's where that whole thing comes from. So, wow. Right. So this goat classification that you
okay.
I know this stuff gets wild, but I got to keep a comical line with it, and I want everybody to laugh with this stuff and take it as it is. It is the truth. You should spend some time on YouTube watching goats. You know, just go look up the goat. If you, and matter of fact, that is good for the study of astrology overall. So, you know, if you want to learn something about the Aries, you know, take some time to watch ram activity. You know, if you want to learn something about the Leo, take some time, watch lions online and just how they move within their habitat. When things are correlated to an animal, you have to find its social rules in the group and how they operate with each other. And then you also go down to the sexual dynamic and the rules of the sexual dynamic, which is also incorporated into our language. So when we say goat here, what you're looking at Pan, when you're looking at the Krampus, or when they say the goat in the sexual realm underneath the category of cuckoldry, it's all the same thing.
Now, I think Carl about to drop something on here. It's going to add a little bit more value to the expression of the Baphomet or the goat head figure. Yeah. Could you read it? So I'm gonna read this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first known mention of the Baphomet was in a letter written in 1098 by Anselm Rebetto. I'm sorry. Rebmont. I'm sorry. Yeah, Anselm Rebmont, describing the siege of Antioch during the First Crusade. I told y'all in the beginning of this whole live over an hour ago.
And the First Crusade is by St. Louis. We do know this.
Listen up for the correlation between the Christians and Muslims. I said that from the very beginning before we got into any of this stuff at all. Anselm stated that the Turks called loudly upon Baphomet. Most scholars believe that the word refers to Muhammad, the founder of Islam.
Okay, I could go in a little bit. Can I go in a little bit right here?
Please.
This is where you find the beard. You see the beard? Because goats also have beard, but during that time,
my God, man.
don't do that. Don't do that.
Have beards.
Well, you also know that a beard is a term for an individual that's playing the mate to a partner that's actually a homo.
Oh, say it again.
So if a lesbian couple, say like a lesbian girl wants to go to her Christmas party to her family, and she wants to play it in front of her family like she has a boyfriend, she brings her beard, and that boyfriend would be the beard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what that term is. And then the beard that the goat has, they're one of the only, that's why they call it a goatee as well. You know, the only animal that produces that has that goatee. They don't. The lion has a mane. No other animal has a goatee like that. You know what I'm saying? And then what else was I going to say about that whole beard thing?
You ain't got to say nothing more. That fucked me up right there. that was crazy. I mean, the fat crumb about the whole thing that.
Oh, the Turks. That's what I was going to say. During that time, before this image was developing of the Baphomet, because in 1098 this image wasn't developed yet. They were going to war with the Turks, and the Turks had beards. So they took that imagery of the Slim Chim and the thong and the long nose and added it to this imagery that we see right here in order for propaganda. When it comes to you have to understand that the demonization inside propaganda goes back eons, and these Europeans have been working on it forever because it goes back to manpower. In order for you to go to war with another country sufficiently, your country has to be your support structure. So they would definitely demonize whatever entity that they were going to war against throughout their society. And that is where the development of the red devil comes from. As you see in the Krampus pictures, those are black devils. Okay. And that was during the 1400s, 1500s before America was developed. Then they turned it red when America was developing, because the devil that is in America, it operates in the party realm, and that's why you see him in commercials with the suit on, or he's wearing red, and you know it's a party situation, which the red can either correlate to blood or wine,
which has nothing to do with the devil with the blue dress on.
Right.
Nah, just this little.
But hey, watch this though. Put in blue devil. Watch this. Let me show you something. Because you reaching in on the medieval. The blue devils are talked about in the second volume.
The blue devil.
No, put in medieval blue devil. Yeah, you see it. You see it all up in the university insignias and all of that other shit. Right. No, it's MED. Ah, there you go. See? Now they pull up. There goes one in the Catholic one of those stained glass inside of a church. You
what
see right
in the
there.
blue devil is the blue devil?
Right, the blue devil is the root energy to the Smurfs. It's the root energy to the boys in blue. Okay, these are entities that appear when you're clearing yourself out of generational alcoholism. Okay, when a person had alcoholism going on for generations and generations, and they're starting to detoxify from it, these images, these little entities of these blue devils show up.
Yeah, it's called a jinn, or could be referred to as a jinn, or a devil. Devil. It is said that the Prophet Muhammad, while upon the mountain, who was visited by the angel Jibrail, and after Jibrail told him what to do, so on and so forth, he came down from the mountain with his wife Khadijah. He said, I've been vexed by a jinn. He thought he was possessed by one of these entities.
Right. You know, the color blue, like you see on the store Walmart, has a lot of different definitions. Deception is one of them, and brotherhood is another one. That's why it's the boys in blue for the police. You know, I have the poem that incorporates the blue devils from the medieval into today's modern police situation.
Well, I hope that doesn't apply to the Blue Lodge Masons at all.
Yeah, blue. Yeah, bro. Watch this. Put in blue devil ring. Watch this. Watch what pulls up. Put in blue devil ring. Mm-hmm. There's an order behind it, bro.
What?
Mm-hmm.
The hell?
Okay, let's see if it shows up. Pull up. There goes one of them. There goes one of them.
That is crazy. So
yeah, if you want to go to my if you want to pull up another tab and go to my what is it called? The Instagram. I have it on there.
So listen, before we get up out of here, I just want people to see the connection. That's why y'all got out here in the first place, was to see the connection. We're talking about Krampus, and the correlation between Saint Nick. These are just some takeaways you guys take away. These are some takeaways. Write down Saint Nick versus Saint Nicholas. Write down Krampus. Do your research. The Zwarte Piet piece is what I want y'all to see, as far as like the association with the picture of Krampus, Santa Claus, and Zwarte Piet in the same picture at the same parade. Now, the version of this in Philly, it's the animalistic part of it.
The Mummers
Parade, which also is dealing with the Moors. The Moors up in Philly already did a whole 3-4 point documentary on YouTube on this already about the correlation of this parade, of them bragging on something. So anyway, write these things down, look them up. Definitely go check out the book.
Yeah, get the book. And I wanted to throw this in there as well. The Krampus horns that you see, or antlers, because they're antlers, comes from the ibex goat. And they're all across. And there's a Nubian form of it. You have to watch out what animals they use, because it covers the land. It's a conquer mechanism that they're incorporating. So the ibex goat, yeah, they have humongous antlers. And the correlation with the animals is very significant, and it is very fucking important. So when they show you the Baphomet, go study goats.
And he got a beard.
They're the animal that has the closest throat structure to humans and can sound like humans, you know. And there's a lot of different things about goats that are very crazy. Their hearts glow, you know, the veins in their hearts glow. I actually have a picture of one up in here. Let me show you.
That is insane. So listen, brother. Tell us one more time the name of the latest book.
This is what I'm about to show you real quick. Comes out of the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women. Okay, this is what a goat's heart looks like. Can you see it?
Yeah.
The veins glow. Okay. It's underneath the definition of the goat inside this book. And right now, you can only get this book from me, both volumes, for $100 on Amazon. They're $200 each volume. So that's $400 for both volumes. Okay. And that is very serious information. I got everything up in there. Definitions of cosmetics, definitions of girls' names, ancient goddesses, religious rites. I got the whole shebanger banger in that motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Listen, y'all, go check the brother out, man. Support him. I was excited about this book right here. So I'm 100% certain that those two books are definitely bangers as well. Check them out. I'm excited for it. Hope you got plenty of notes. Carm, anything we put out?
Yeah, kickedoutofheaven.com. I want y'all to go ahead and get it for a family member. If you already got it, it's only $50 right now. Doing that for the Christmas. These books will stand the test of time. They're written in that format, you know. And I did it for you because I didn't understand the culture that we're living in. Neither do you. And we'd all be fools to say that we do, you know. Yeah, and that's the bottom line. I'm glad I met Minister of Information today. I'm glad him and Crumb spent the time with me to give the Krampus to you, the Zwarte Piet. We didn't really get to go in on the mummers too much, but the mummers are definitely in the third volume. And as I stated earlier, Christmas is mentioned over 90 times throughout the whole book. And then there's 120 Black Madonnas in here too for the self-esteem of little
120. 120, not just the one they show y'all in Russia. There's a whole bunch of pictures in here. Please get the book, check it out. Crump, we got anything coming up you want to share, put out with the family real quick? Go check the brother, check him out. He's selling books. I'm just selling knowledge. If you can hit that Cash App, family, I'll be so grateful. You know, the collection plate is passed around now. Because when y'all was going to this Christian ideology church, everybody went to church in this fly feet. And the collection plate go around, we drop some in the collection plate. We don't need it, but we'll take it. So hit the Cash App if you can. Go check out this brother book, man. Go to the website, get a book, get two. It's the holidays, or the holy days. This is the holy days. And it's crazy because even after reading this information and sharing information about Krampus, blacks, and this, we need about 3 more fucking hours to really go in on this stuff, man. And it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack. I'm glad the brother came through and gave y'all an appetizer. That was just the appetizer. I'm a chef, so we call it the amuse-bouche. It's the app before the app comes out. It's just a little taste. This is just this amuse-bouche. Look it up. This is just a muse bouche of what information we've been talking about. I've been talking about for so long. But definitely check it out. Get to that Cash App, man. Drop something in the bank. If it's just $1. We're taking our time to be on here. The brother gave you information to go buy his books. Support him. It's 243 people on here watching this shit right now. I'm pretty sure by end of Saturday it's gonna be well over 10,000 views on here. So I want to make this statement for everybody that's watching and it's gonna watch. Drop the fucking Cash App. Come on, y'all. Check out the brother's book. You got people out here doing the work. And we sit on here for an hour 45 minutes going live for no pay. That's called slavery. We're working. Y'all are benefiting from it. We've done the research. His brother's done the research. His brother he's putting out books. Last person I put out books like this was like Dr. York. And his brother's book is way thicker than Dr. York shit.
Right.
Way thicker. Shop with him. Hit me up. Cash App. Crumb TV. Be sure to share this. It needs to go viral. Everything we're doing going viral. Y'all, if I'm on here, I need 100 before we go live to tune in. And you see we can do it. It's a simple call to action. It's a simple call to action request to get your people to respond. And they respond. We love y'all. And then you can do about it. To all my Moors out there, happy Holy Day. Today is Friday, holy day for all Muslims and Muslims. Friday was the day that man was created into flesh, and Friday was the day that man departed the flesh. That's therefore making every Friday a holy day to all Muslims and Muslims around the world. I came to y'all. I'm sorry, I leave y'all. Oh, I came to y'all. From got anything, brother? Peace and light, peace and love. Get that Cash out, man. Look out for your boy. All right. First, thanks again to the good brother, Mr. Booker. Appreciate it, dog. We out, man. Crumb TV.